Hello, this is my audience for today.
Hello, today I would like to speak about homelessness in the United States. In 2024, over 170,000 people experienced homelessness on a single night in January, which was an 18% increase compared to 2023, according to the USA Facts National Law Income Housing Coalition. This marks the highest homeless count since HUD began collecting data. Roughly 23 out of every 10,000 Americans were unhoused during that count. Among the ones that were counted, 64% were in sheltered situations like emergency transitional housing, 36% were unsheltered, living in places unfit for people to be staying in. According to the Econofax National Low Income Housing Coalition, approximately 33% of individuals were experiencing long-term homelessness for at least a year, multiple episodes over the prior of 3 years. The 2023-2024 spike was the highest, largest year-over-year-to-year jump since data collection began. From 2022 to 2023, homelessness inched up by 12%. People that are most affected by not having a place to stay are Black Americans, which make up 31.6% of homeless population in 2024. Nearly 150,000 children were counted as homeless in 2024, a 33% increase from 2023. Root causes behind the spike are housing affordability crisis, really high rent, and stagnated wages are pushing more people into precarious housing situation. The COVID pandemic, expiring COVID programs left a lot of people homeless, without homes, and communities without critical support. National disasters and increased migration have displaced many, adding to the strain on existing homeless people. Structural disparities tied to systemic racism continue to create unequal outcome and overrepresentation among marginalized groups. Expiring COVID programs left many people without support. Rising and fluctuation stagnated wages for low and middle income households and insufficient income to cover housing costs are major contributing factors. Public health crisis and devastating natural disaster like the Maui wildfires have displaced people from housing situation and put them in housing shortages. Again, the pandemic, COVID-19, um, such as the expanded child tax credit has added to the crisis, impact on specific populations. Family and children. Family with children experience the largest single year income in homelessness. Youth. Approximately 4.2 million young people, including 700,000 unaccomplished minors, experience homeless annually. Working homeless category. A growing number of people experiencing homeless are employed, working jobs like Walmart or McDonald's, but still unable to afford housing. Current response and future steps. Services. Efforts to connect people without housing, shelter, healthcare, and employment services have increased, serving over 1.1 million people in 2024. Main causes. The drivers of homeless are complete and irrelatable. Some other major factors. Affordable housing shortages. There are not many housing units that people with low income can afford. Rental prices. When you rent in a place, they have the prices so high, so sky high, that when people are working regular jobs like Walmart, McDonald's, Popeyes, churches, jobs like that, it's kind of hard to try to pay your bills. Many people working full time still can't afford housing in many metro areas. Safety nets are often weak or hard to access. Health insurance, mental health problem, substance use, gaps in mental health care, and lack of access to treatment also contribute to homeless in the United States. Physical health problem, especially unexpected ones. When you get sick, you have to go in the hospital. You have these really high medical bills. It can push people into financial crisis, which can push you into being homeless. Structural and policy issue, zoning, land use, regulation, and building code restriction reduce what housing can be built, especially low cost units. Historic inequities such as redlining housing, discrimination, systemic racism still ripple the effects. And lastly, domestic violence. When you're in a domestic violent relationship, you fleeing from the home, fleeing from abuse. You don't have anywhere to go, that can force you into homelessness. Foster care when you're 18 or older and it's time for you to leave the foster home. You don't have anywhere to go. That can leave you to be homeless. That was my speech about homeless in the United States from 2022 to 2025. Hope you enjoyed my speech. Thank you.